mute.
Thanks, Big G. And thank you, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, for joining us for another Wednesday night episode of the Pump Your Brakes podcast. You can be anywhere getting your Steeler news and information from anybody else, but you're here with us, and we greatly appreciate it. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Tate, here with the little fella, Big G. What's up, Big G?
What's cracking, man? I'm just letting the Steelers Nation know right off the bat. I'm checking everything at the gate. I got my spy gear on tonight, and I don't know who I can trust in Steeler Nation. So I'm fact-checking everything, including all of those people over there in the live chat. I need y'all to get them rhythms up tonight because I don't know who to trust right now in Steeler Nation, dog. So let's get it in for the show.
We'll double back to all that stuff in a second. Shannon, what's up with you, Triple OG?
Well, I think I'm a lot like Big G tonight. I think it's going to be a really real show tonight because I've just not pulling any punches. So we'll see what happens.
Facts.
Okay. So, yeah, shout out to everybody in the live chat. Tim Lyons, Afton, Jar, Kathy, Mr. Woodsey. Woodsey, what's up? Wes, what's happening? AJC. Sean Gurley. Okay. Matt Smith just jumped in. Jeremiah Yoder, Carson Wright. Everybody, what's happening? We are so humbled and so pleased to have you guys here joining us. Thanks so much. Guys, what's up, man? It's different. The game is tomorrow. This is a short week. It's been a short week. I mean, like I said, the week is over for as far as us waiting on football. This time tomorrow, we will be looking at the game if you got your Amazon Prime game on, right?
Facts. And Tate Boy Fresh and Shannon, I know we in a safe place for Steelers Nation, but I'm telling you, like I said, I got my spy gear on and I'm ready to roll. And I'm telling you right now, there might be a whole bunch of dudes that I tell take a lap after tomorrow night because we need a W. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. We need a dub.
Why you got spy gear on? Who you telling to take a lap?
I'm watching and paying attention, bro. That's why I got my gear on tonight. My question on my shirt says, who do you trust? And I don't know who I can trust in Steeler Nation right now.
But why?
So, it's a lot going on over there, bro.
I think I can answer.
We didn't have
he don't even know why. You think.
I know why.
By the actions of the Steelers or the inactivity of the Steelers, they have told us, the fan base, the heart and soul of Steeler Nation, that they're fine where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
If they finish last in the division this year, it doesn't matter. That they are this kind of reminds me of the Kevin Colbert hold on to them draft picks like they're precious pearls.
Fact.
Because there was 5 things they needed to do this year. The number one thing is to figure out if Kenny Pickett is the answer or not. Because if he's not the answer, nothing else matters. Because they're not going to be competitive for a while. And then after this year, they're going to have to find the answer. They're going to have to find a quarterback that they feel like could be the franchise guy. So that was priority number one. To do that, they had to show improvement on that offensive line. Well, the offensive line has not improved. It's gotten worse. And we see now how much chemistry matters on an offensive line. Because Samalu was borderline all-pro last year, surrounded by Kelsey, Dickerson, and Landon Johnson. You put him on the Steelers' offensive line, and he doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. There's no chemistry there.
Well, is it?
Everybody's dropped off.
Is it chemistry, or is it just he's not as good as we thought he was because he was playing with an all-world line over there in Philly?
Well, it could be both. But, I mean, obviously, if he has enough talent around him, he could be very, very good. But when you put him with this line, he is not the same. and you have Dan Moore. Those tackles got thrown around against the Jaguars, guys. They got tossed around like kids.
Facts.
It was not competitive. You cannot have that. And then have Broderick Jones playing, as an eligible receiver on the line, and he's not even getting any real playing time now. The decisions that's been made, they hung with Levi Wallace till he got injured, which we see that should have changed weeks ago. Dan Moore should have been out weeks ago, and you could have had Broderick Jones in there already learning. Because if they're saying, but making no move before the trade deadline, that this team is not a contender, I can live with that, guys. But they should already been playing the young guys and letting them learn and get ready for next year. Let this be a rebuilding process, a learning process. They don't want to, they're trying to stay in the middle. So, I know they tried to make some moves yesterday, and a lot of people that were supposedly sellers wasn't very enthusiastic about selling. They valued their players way more than even obviously anybody else did, because very few of them trades went through. But what I'm saying is they knew their big weakness was secondary. And if you're going to be competitive in that AFC North, they had to make a move, and they sat still.
And no
so
trade.
My expectations have changed. And now I'm going to look at it like they do, realistically, and this is what it is. So I think that's what Big G's talking about. We had more faith in them than they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't now.
Mm-hmm. A lot of facts going on right there, Shannon. A lot of facts.
So I was going to ask to talk about what you guys thought about the inactivity trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I hear everything Shannon just said. I listened to Jeff Hartman's Let's Ride this morning, and one of the things he talked about was he was glad the Steelers didn't force a move and give up any players because the Steelers aren't ready this year. They're not ready. So why get a rental of a good player who you'll have to pay probably next year? We talking Chase Young, we talking Patrick Surtain, even though he would have one more year. But you have to pay him. They're going to want to get paid. I mean, any move you made, unless you got the kid Elam from Buffalo, who was a first-round rookie, I believe, last year, 2 years ago, who hasn't been good, but he's first-round talent. Perhaps he could come into our system. And he wouldn't help right now. It'd just be for the long play. But I don't know that I disagree. I mean, if they had I would love to see them make a move for Surtain. Jalen Johnson, Chicago Bears wanted a first or second round pick. No way. No, thank you. I think
you would have gave a second round for Johnson?
It might have been negotiable, but they said they wanted a first or second, so I don't know.
Well, that was a rumor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we don't know that. Yeah.
I've read it in print several places, so I assume that it's sourced. I don't know, but we don't know that. I hear the Steelers were trying hard to go after him, but they wouldn't meet the Bears' price. And I think the Bears are probably playing hardball because they feel some kind of way because they got beat with the Chase Claypool trade and we got Joey Porter Jr. So they were hesitant. They pumped their brakes, so to speak, in dealing with us. I mean, so we did need secondary help, but I don't know what they could have did if it's going to take 2 first-round picks against Surtain. They wanted a first or second for Johnson and weren't really negotiating with us well. Elam wasn't going to help right now. I mean, so what do you do? I think the Buffalo got Rasul Douglas. I think they gave up a third to get him cornerback.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. So what do you do? That's what I'm asking you guys.
Well, that's where you've seen other teams get real aggressive. And I hear what Jeff was saying as far as the 1-year rental deal. But the issue is all the smoke screens and everything that the Pittsburgh Steelers nation and the front office just showed me is that they're almost ready to tank. I don't believe that they're even going to try to. Pittsburgh Steelers naturally try to fight to win. But we're looking another 9-8 in the face because we got a lot of questions. We got to figure out starting out from number 1, is Kenny Pickett the guy? It's already no question that the offensive coordinator, Matt Canada's up out of here, bro. So now we got to take a look at, is the defensive coordinator up out of here? You know, and it's Kenny too.
That's another thing. The defense is playing well, not well as we're used to, but they don't get breaks, Big G. The offense sends them right back on the field after 3 plays several times a game, probably 6-7 times a game.
Correct.
So
I agree.
You just can't blame the defense for what the defense is doing when they're not getting any rest, any break, because how poorly the offense is performing. But I want to bring it to what Chris Long, Howie Long's son, has his own podcast. Because I agree with him with some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys heard it. The Green Light Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
How about effing executing, okay? Tired of Matt Canada criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I don't agree with some of that. Matt Canada's not missing throws. Matt Canada's not missing blocks. Let's see the offense execute what's being called, and then if the script and the stuff don't work, then we can say, man, Matt Canada, you suck at play calling completely. But we haven't seen a good, clean, crisp offensive performance not one time this year.
You're not going to. You're not going to. Not with that offensive game plan.
First half against the Raiders.
Yeah, but Tate, this is the deal, bro. And I'm just gonna say it. I played for some great offensive coordinators and great offensive minds throughout my high school, collegiate, junior college, and collegiate career. I had great coaches. I had guys that like Coach Leonard Rush, God rest his soul, man. Coach Bellistoff out there in Iowa, God rest his soul, man. My coach down in Arkansas, great coach. Man, I would run through a wall for them dudes, dog, because they demanded excellence and effort. They demanded it. And there's a lot of non-demand for excellence and effort. Forget execution. You got to have excellence and effort. And when players don't believe in their coaches and they don't believe in the scheme and they know here we go again with the same old shenanigans, what do you expect? Players are only going to do what the coaches call. They only can do that. And I don't believe that the scheme and the format has any inkling of every play being designed to score a touchdown, especially when you have better personnel sitting on the bench and they're not playing. Same difference on the defensive side. Pittsburgh Steelers defense is known for being super aggressive. Why are we sitting in cover 2 defensively 65 to 70% of all the plays? I know why, because you got better players sitting on the bench. So if you don't believe, and the locker room is split and the locker room is divided, because that's what I'm starting to see. I'm starting to see there's some split and some division. Between
who? Between who? Give me an example. Who are you talking about?
Between the defensive team against Matt Canada, the defensive team against the offensive team. There's a lot of split in the division, because if you keep sending me out, I'm gonna be ticked.
Yeah, there could be because the offense sucks. So I can see that division.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man, you guys got to do better. We get you the ball. We cause 3 turnovers. We do this.
Yep.
We stop them 3 times in the red zone. But how many times have you put up signs already?
About 9.
This is blue, the color blue, 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 blue. This is blue, the color blue.
Never will I stop putting up signs. So you might as well kill that thing, because signs is going up forever.
I'm keeping it. Every time you keep putting up signs, we gotta go to your sign factory.
You're gonna waste 30 seconds on air, because I ain't never gonna stop with the signs.
It's only 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. I ain't never stopping. I'm rolling with it forever, because the people feel that, and they know where I'm at right now. That's why I ain't switched up, put my regular glasses on. I ain't looked at one comment over in the live chat, but I know that they feeling what I'm talking about. That you better keep your eyes on everything, because it's Spygate right now. I'm looking for who do you trust, and who in them ranks over there for the Steelers shouldn't be there at the end of the 2023 season, because there's going to be some dudes cut up out of there, bro. It's going to be some dudes. I need to see who's going to go and put up maximum effort from this point forward. And if KP ain't the guy, let's go. Let's move on. Definitely, Matt Canada, adios muchachos. The DC, I'm looking at you real hard. I'm looking.
Well, I think the defense came along last year. Terrell Austin, I think is a top 10 defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Steelers play good defense. They cause turnovers. They haven't given over. Have they even given over 24 points this year?
Just to the 49ers, 27. That's
30,
it.
30.
30
Yeah,
to
that's
7.
it, though.
That's it.
Was
And
Brian Flores there last year, Tate?
He was
Yep.
there last year. It was only year last year.
Okay. Because
And now he got a job, Shannon.
Year.
He got a job,
Shannon.
Shannon, you know he got a job, right?
Yeah.
He already got a job.
Yeah.
He got a
Yeah,
job.
he the DC in Minnesota. He over there blitzing 57% of the time. I mean, I like Brian Flores. I like his aggression. I think some of the stuff that
we want to blame every time we want to blame the players for execution. But what's Matt Canada's history? Where else he been successful, and where else he not been successful?
Nowhere.
Let's look at Terrell Austin. Let's look at his past history. Let's look at all these guys. And I'm telling you, it's obvious.
Terrell Austin was successful with the Bengals for a year or two.
We have a different degree of success, I guess.
I think he had a top 5
Austin's
defense.
Is in over his head. We know Matt Canada's in over his head, and it's just a wasted season. And it comes right down to the coordinators because you can't figure out what you do have. Everybody looks bad on offense. Everybody. The only person that looks good at all is George Pickens, and that's just because he's a freak and he can make them back shoulder catches. But tell me who else looks good on offense?
Nobody.
When it's everybody, then you got to start looking at what's the scheme, what's the game plan, where's this coming from? I mean, you bring in Mitch Trubisky. Everybody said, "Oh, bring in Mitch Trubisky." Mitch Trubisky looked worse.
Yeah, Mitch is terrible.
And bring in Rudolph, and he'll look even worse than that. It's a terrible scheme, guys.
Thanks, Wes, for the super chat. The all season, Wallace, Peterson, Pierre, Loudermilk,
KZ.
KZ, Neil, Moore, Cole, Chooks, Adams, Trubisky need cut, and trade Najee for a bag of Doritos.
Listen, my eyes is on Najee Harris. My eyes is on him. Bruh. There might be complete overhaul because this thing can go south fast. I'm letting all Steeler Nation know it can go south real fast.
Had this queued up too. So what kind of I'm starting to hear what kind of Steeler fans you guys are right now, man.
Hey, I'm just telling the truth. Listen, I love Pittsburgh. I love them with everything I got. But the issue is you cannot. It's insane to continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. We was here the only thing that happened towards the end of the season last year is that KP8 was able to pull a gang of wins out of his hat. And that's why a lot of Steeler Nation was like, okay, we're going to see this kid progress and make this leap and this jump. I'm not against KP8, but is it Canada or is it KP8 not progressing? My mind is telling me from a football analogy standpoint that it's not KP8. My mind is telling me that it's that coach. And my mind is telling me because he's scared, because he knows he's not going to get protected. There's no way in God's green earth that Dan Moore should ever play another down. He should be on the bench for the remainder of the NFL season. There's no way he should play another down, especially when you have a tackle that you traded for up to get. He's got more talent. That's why we drafted him at 12 or 13 or wherever we drafted him at. So why is he playing? Same difference with Levi Wallace. Why is he playing? He should never play. I just read a thing that Tomlin said that he believes now that Joey Porter Jr. has earned the right to start. He didn't earn the right to start. That's why we went and got him. Levi Wallace, I told you from the beginning, was garbage. But I'm not in the front office. So I'm a fan looking in. So I respect them as front office people and coaches. But you cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect the same results.
Hey, Big G, you change nothing, nothing changes.
Facts. Fact. Absolute facts. What you saying there, Tate? Half full, half empty. What you saying? Pessimistic versus optimistic? You mute, dog.
Remember last year coming out the bye?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, what I tell you Steelers record was going to be?
It was something good, like 6-1 or something like that.
I said 7-2, and that's what they finished.
Yeah.
And I still have the faith, and that's what I'm saying. Look, we 4-3. We're in 6th place in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Hayward's coming back. We got
Mm-hmm.
Coach Tomlin and TJ Watt. We're gonna be okay, guys.
9-8.
Okay.
So it's okay 9-8.
I think 10-7, which means we would at least go. What? That's 6 more wins
Facts.
and 4 more losses. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Before,
Facts.
yeah. Nah. So it 11-6. 11-6. You heard it.
11-6.
11-6.
Man, I don't know.
11-6.
I don't know. Shannon, what you saying, bro?
The way they are doing right now, they could very easily win 8 games total this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because, guys, they have no offense. None. I mean, it's just I believe if Pickett wouldn't have got hurt, they'd have come back and won that game. Pickett was starting to get his rhythm, and the offense was starting to, you got that feeling that it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went out, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have had to been another one of them late game heroics again, because it's just, even if they get ahead or get a lead, then it's 2 runs and a short pass behind the line and give it back to the other team. Because, I mean, that's how they're playing. It's so conservative. It's so juvenile. It's just not an NFL caliber offense.
Yeah. Well, can I ask this question to both of y'all? What is the identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now today? Right now today. What is the identity?
Don't got one.
You say we don't got one, Tate. Do we got one?
Not one you can lean on, but I mean, they're
sucking an identity.
They're hard nosed and grimy.
Okay.
Hey, Big G, is sucking an identity?
I don't know, but I'm
if that's an identity, they got one.
Tate, so you say they're hard nosed and grimy. That's their identity. Is that based on past, or is that today?
That's today. I mean,
right.
They will fight you to the end. Don't mean they'll win the fight, but they'll fight you to the end. I mean, okay. I don't disagree with Shannon. I think they could have came back just like last year. The Steelers would have been 8-1 after the bye.
Facts.
Except for Mitch got in and gave that game away against Baltimore.
Facts.
And when he threw that interception, he essentially gave it away then.
Facts.
I mean, but they were hanging around just like a boxer. You hang around to the 10-4-11, your opponent can be beating you, but eventually you can wear them out and you can get them. And that's where the Steelers are at right now, because they're not coming out in the first round, looking clean, looking good, looking sharp. So they got to win how they can win. But I believe they can win games like this until they can get right. If that's not this year, I don't expect to make no noise in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think they can win 11 games.
So I'm saying this. I think that we do play in the hardest division in all of football. The AFC North is the most competitive division, without a shadow of a doubt. And I don't know if this type of sustainability from an offensive standpoint and putting all of this pressure on your defense to win games can sustain you with some of the dynamic play, at least out of 2 of the teams in the AFC North at quarterback. And some of that is because, once again, and I'm beating a dead horse, Matt Canada's handcuffed Kenny Pickett. So you got to let the young fella get loose, because we got to find out. That's why I'm saying we have to find out.
What did they do on the first play of the game against Jacksonville? Is that letting him loose?
Yes and no.
How is it no?
Yeah, yes and no. Because this is the problem. This is the problem. Anytime you have a quarterback that doesn't have his mind set, the fact that he knows quarterbacks are sometimes even like basket cases playing quarterback. And when he missed that first throw, that almost set him up to fail the whole first quarter. When he missed those first 3
But
throws,
is that on Matt Canada, Big G? Kenny Pickett missed the throw. Deontay Johnson probably could have caught it, but if he had hit him in stride, it would have been a touchdown. But is that on Matt Canada?
Yes and no. Yes
Come
and no.
on, man. You're not making
Yes
no
and
sense.
no. Yes and it is on Matt Canada because has he done that all year? So quarterbacks play off of momentum. So he hadn't done it all year, and
But
now the
you
expectation is you got to make it.
But you
gotta do it.
said he's not letting him loose. He did start out the game letting him loose.
I'm not buying it.
Did you see the route combinations?
Horrible.
It was 4 go routes. And they wasn't expecting it because nobody in their right mind would. And Pickett's throw was just a touch high. Not all passes were perfect. And Johnson got 2 hands on it, but he couldn't bring it in. But that's just the kind of offense they have this year.
Deontay should have took them gloves off. Or when he missed the first one, he should have took them gloves off. Tate, you mute, Ron. Tate, we can't hear you.
I pressed mute the second time when I wasn't mute when you said I was mute. Shannon, would you say Kenny Pickett throws more perfect passes than he does imperfect passes?
Again, Tate, I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who it is. I want him to win. I want him to have an NFL caliber offense. But you can bring any quarterback in you want, and that is not going to be an NFL caliber offense. You look at Pat Mahomes. Everybody's talking about how great Pat Mahomes is. He's got Kelsey. Who else is doing good for that team? What other receivers are doing good? And he's getting frustrated, and they just lost to Denver, who lost 70-20 to the Miami Dolphins. So, it matters. It matters, even in this case, who you got catching the football. But the Steelers right now are in shambles on both sides of the ball. And T.J. Watt, again, is hurting. I've never seen him blocked one-on-one by tight ends like he was against Jacksonville. That whole game, they were shutting him down with tight ends. He wasn't double-teamed. He got held a couple of times, but so did Highsmith. But I'm telling you, he's not himself right now because he's hurting. And they have a lot of things they needed to do to keep this from going south after the deadline. And now we are what we are.
That's a good stopping point right there. Let's go ahead and get our quick break in and come back and finish our discussion. If you're watching on YouTube, stick with us. We'll be right back. We appreciate everybody watching on YouTube. We appreciate you joining us for the Wednesday night Pump Your Brakes. If you listen on audio, we'll be right back after these couple ads. We got to pay a couple bills, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Pump Your Brakes podcast. Tate, Shannon, Big G, we all here.
Yes,
we
sir.
all have. We just have an open discussion about the Steelers, man. So so Cam Hayward is coming back. Good news, right?
Facts.
Mortimer, we're back.
Mortimer, one of my favorite movies of all time, Tate. One of my favorite movies. We're all the way back. Mortimer.
Definitely a classic. I don't disagree with you. So Cam's back. Now look, a lot of Steeler fans won't like this.
As of today, right now, today.
Yeah, that's why you don't see some other people in there.
No, man. I mean, I might call cap on that one, Tate. I might call cap, man. I don't know.
I get it, but you know what? Then we should go back. We should go back to your original idea in last year.
No, that's extremism.
Trade Coach Tomlin. You probably get a first round pick or two.
But that's extremism. That was extremism. That was because, and I admit wholeheartedly, I was frustrated. So that's extremism. But to say that he's right now, I don't know. Because the issue is this, man. And I'm going to defend Coach Tomlin in this. I think he's handcuffed. I think some of the things that Coach Tomlin wants to do, he's not able to do. I really do. I really do believe in my heart of hearts he's handcuffed. I think that there's some things he wants to change drastically. And because of push from front office, push from this, push from that, he can't do it. And he's the head coach. And I understand. But I think he's handcuffed. That's just my opinion.
Well, let me ask you this, you and Shannon. What's happened to Darnell Washington? You know he's been dropped to third string, right?
That's my point. Once again, why is he on the bench? What is going on? You know what that tells me? And like I said, I never played one down in the NFL, but I know a lot of people. I got friends that played in the league. I got a guy that's playing in the league right now I'm close to, right? You know what that tells me? That tells me that Darnell Washington went into that locker room or went into a meeting with Matt Canada and challenged him. That's what that tells me. Somewhere in practice, somewhere, Darnell Washington has said, "You're a scrub. You suck. My offensive coordinators at Georgia was better than you." And that pissed Matt Canada off. Because you don't see guys dropping depth.
That's
bro,
total speculation.
I done seen it.
Go ahead, Shannon.
You don't have to do anything. Matt Canada last year, Calvin Austin III was getting ready to come off the injured reserve list, and they said, "Hey, that's good news, ain't it, Matt Canada?" And he said, "I don't really know what we would use him for, what we would do with him." You know, a guy with 4.3 speed on an offense that desperately needed splash plays.
There you go.
And he's already had a couple this year. But Canada said, "I don't know what we do with him." I mean, if I don't tell you something, I don't know what will. I mean, the evidence is there. It's right in front of our face. And we're still debating Tomlin last year. Well, no, I'm not even going to say it. They've just earlier people said I wasn't happy that they were winning. It wasn't I wasn't happy they were winning. It was how they were winning. And luck is not sustainable. And they could come out tomorrow night, get lucky, get a couple of fortunate turnovers and bounces and win. And everybody says it'll all be fixed. No, it won't. That offense is still going to be the same until changes are made.
And I'm gonna say this too. If when Matt Canada says things like, "I don't know how to use this guy or that guy," what he needs to do is go back and look and see what they excelled at in college. And then design a game plan or put plays in a game plan that fits that player. Go back and look how good or a dynamic Darnell Washington was at Georgia playing tight end. He's 6'7", 270 pounds. If anything, when you get in the red zone, body him up and throw him the ball. If anything. But I remember seeing plays where this kid was jumping over people and all kind of stuff across the board at Georgia. Same difference with Calvin Austin. The dynamic play calling that was going on at Memphis to get him the ball, you got to give him the ball. And so when I hear an OC say, "I don't know what to do and I don't know how to use him," come on, dog. That means you're not making no effort or energy, which means that lightweight under the table, he's saying that guy's in the doghouse. That's what he's saying. Because coaches, if you're really into this, you're going to win regardless of what your personal feelings are concerning a guy. You're going to put the best dudes in there because you want the dub. And I think some of this is personal.
Hey, Big J, when towards the end of Ben's career, we had to make excuses why the offense sucked. And even though Ben was the only reason they were in games. But what did Mike Tomlin say? That in this day and age, you need mobility.
Fact.
That quarterback mobility, man, that was the unicorn, the golden grail, what everybody's chasing. Well, you give him two quarterbacks with mobility, still suck. What I'm saying is you change the cast of the characters, you give them what they asked for, and it still sucks. I mean, when are we going to start looking at the real problem.
Shannon, I don't disagree. It's a lot going on. And that's why I said I'm keeping my eyes on them because I want to see it. Now, I'm not going to be just totally down because I'm not. I love the Steelers. So there's always going to be a line of optimism in there. But the deal is I got to see it. I can't just keep going off of, well, they're going to do this and they're going to do. I have to see it. And I haven't seen the adjustments and the changes yet. I haven't seen it. So let me see it. Let me see it. At least consistent. Let's be consistent 2 games in a row. Let's start with Tennessee. Let's move on to Green Bay, and let's see some consistency. If not, we're doing the same old thing. And it's not productive at all. Tate, Shannon?
Well, I agree with you. They're consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not trying to defend Matt Canada. My whole thing is the players need to play better too. A lot better.
I agree. Hey, but Tate, can I ask you this? If you had a person that was leading you, would you run through a wall for him? And you believed in him? Would you run through a wall? If you believed in him.
I believe that good leadership helps you get the task done, whatever the task is.
Mm-hmm. But if you got doubt in your mind and you're second guessing the guy and you feel some kind of way about him, what are you going to do?
I'm a self-motivator. If I'm on a team, anytime I've played team sports, didn't need anybody to motivate me to give my all, give my best, and do what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
As an athlete, that's just supposed to be in you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you see your head coach is starting guys based on his own personal preference, veteran privilege or whatever you want to call it, and letting better players not play, sit on the bench, even though you're struggling. And how much faith are you going to have in that person, especially when they come out and defend the actual reason and then put the blame on player execution. We talked about it a couple weeks ago that if changes wasn't made, he was in danger of losing the locker room. And I think we're starting to see that when you have receivers costing you 15 yards with undisciplined penalties, and then you don't discipline them, you don't call them out, you throw the blame on the ref. That's what we're good at this year, is throwing the blame everywhere but where it should be.
There's some facts for that.
The coach didn't do that. The coach said we can't be blaming refs. That's what coach said.
Coach Tomlin?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I'll ride with it.
That's what he said. Now
he said they had to judge basically the temperament of the refs for that game and figure out what they can or can't do. You can't get up and get in a guy's face and taunt him ever. I don't care what game it is, the refs will call that.
No.
When you go in the guy's face and you shush him, they're going to call that.
That's
player discipline. That's not the refs. Now, this past game, the refs sucked.
Facts.
Because they can't figure out what is and isn't roughing the passer. So they didn't call what was roughing the passer, and they did call what wasn't. They can't figure out what offsides is. Jaguars were offsides, and they called it on Pittsburgh. Yeah, they sucked last game. But I've never seen that crew before in my life. And hopefully I never see them again.
I don't disagree. There's the bottom line is, and Tate, I think you've made this point millions of times on the shows, that when you start talking about a professional organization, it is a team. It is a team. But just like how we're sitting here and debating and having a healthy discussion concerning which way it's going and all whatever else, if we're doing that and we're fans, can you imagine what's going on in the locker room? Can you imagine what's actually going on? Because I haven't seen them, and that's why I want them so bad to come out against Tennessee and circle the wagons and be like, it's us against the world. Let's turn out all this chatter, all this other stuff. It's us against the world. If they do that, then I know they're going to turn this thing around.
And that's the Steelers' mentality. They're not listening to us. They don't listen to outside noise.
I don't believe it.
I'm looking at a couple of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin says Steelers can't use officials as an excuse for losing. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin says elite teams overcome bad refereeing. I mean, so he's not putting any blame on the refs, nothing like that, and he's telling his players not to. I mean, something like the call with Deontay Johnson against the Rams and Akilla Witherspoon, old teammates going at it. That just got heated. And if this the worst thing he did was okay, just be quiet. Okay, you can't do that, but I don't have a problem with it. He's not like standing over a guy, taunting the guy after a sack or something egregious like that.
Mm-hmm.
He put his finger up to his own face mask. That's all he did. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that it didn't deserve a penalty. I'm saying, but what they're saying is you have to know the referee. Just like in basketball, Big G, you got referees that call games different. Something with one ref might be a foul. In another game, that same thing might not be a foul with another ref.
I get that. But you should never put yourself in position to allow the referee to decide anything. And that's where I'm siding with you, Tate, as far as like the effort from the team, right? There's some effort issues going on. But a lot of times, effort issues are based on your belief in what's going on as the organization. And that's all the way to the high school level.
Why do you think there's a lack of effort? Who do you see not trying?
I see a lot of them have. I see a lot of discouragement when they put the camera on the sidelines, and you watch that. And I've watched some of the all 22 film on Patreon, and I've seen them guys go up on the sidelines and dudes is fussing. I've seen helmets thrown, so you can't get that in a regular NFL game. You can go on Patreon and watch it. I've seen frustration.
But that happens in all games.
Yeah, but when that's the thing. Winning cures all problems. But when you're not winning, I don't care how live your culture is. There's a lot of finger pointing. And right now, that's what I'm starting to see in the Steelers culture, which is unusual for anybody who's been a Steelers fan for a long time. This is the most I've ever seen Steelers fans and the team sort of divided against each other. I've never seen this before. And I've been watching the Steelers since the 70s. So it's normally us against the world. Let's get it in. Nah, I don't know if it's all of that. And that might be wearing on them where they're feeling some kind of way about the offensive strategy, about the defensive strategy, about the game planning, about who's playing and who's not playing, because they're players and they ultimately want to win. So there's a lot of that going on right there in that culture,
So let's talk about this game tomorrow. We've spent the first 3/4 of the show just having our conversation about whatever we've been talking about. But Tennessee comes into town tomorrow. Kenny Pickett's playing against Will Levis.
William Levis. Yeah, facts.
William Levis. I'm hoping he's not like William Wallace. That was my dude, William Wallace. Mm. You don't even know William Wallace, Big G.
Who?
Who is William Wallace?
Braveheart.
Okay, all right, Big G.
I thought you knew. Oh, I know what time William Wallace is, bro.
You said all you watch is sports and Marvel movies, so I didn't know you knew William Wallace.
Tate, point and reference. The dude told William Wallace, if I die for you, will I get a chance to kill Englishmen? That's what that dude told him. That means he was ready to run through a brick wall because he believed in him. And that's what I need to see happening in Pittsburgh. I believe in you, dog. I believe. So I'm going to kill. I'm wiping everybody off the face of the planet. That's how you get out.
Well, as far as that part goes, I think Kenny needs to make plays and guys will follow behind him when he starts making plays. That throw to Deontay Johnson, it was confusing. I'm not saying it's a bad throw. I think he thought Deontay Johnson was going to sit down in the end zone, and Deontay kept going. So when Kenny threw it, Deontay reached back, he slipped. So that was just a miscommunication. But on TV, it looked like a bad throw.
Facts. And the second one that Deontay Johnson dropped, if I'm a coach, man, take them gloves off, dog. What is you doing? It's raining like a mug. Get them off your hands now.
He did have a couple drops, but then after that, he had a good game. He had a lot of good catches. He turned it around in that game.
Man, get them gloves off.
Go ahead, Shannon. What you got to say?
I was just going to say, there was a couple games, the last time they went to the playoffs and lost to the Chiefs, that, he had big numbers that year because Ben was feeding him the ball. But early in games when they needed, that's when he made a crucial drop. And then after that, he caught everything. And he played really good. And everybody's like, yeah, but he recovered and he had a good game. That was never the problem. That first one, they needed that to develop rhythm and get the offense rolling. Sometimes it matters when you screw up. If y'all watched, he slipped and fell to the ground 3 times in the first half. Now, if it happens once, okay, it's raining and all this, happens twice, you got to start considering changing your cleats. I see Jacksonville changing their cleats.
Yeah, ETN.
And then the third slip was on the one that you brought up that Pickett threw behind him. And he couldn't have caught it because his feet were going out from under him. So, again, it's just decisions. You micro... we judge every little thing when the offense is playing this badly. So, we can sit and nitpick it to death, but, they just didn't make the plays. They didn't execute. The game plan sucks. So, therefore, the offense sucks. And now can they fix it?
I think first things first, offensively, and it helped the defense, is we got to get that run game going.
I agree.
You get the run game going. You kill some of the time of possession. You start to win that battle. Your defense gets rested. You just gotta have rush for 125, 140 yards in the game.
Hey, Tate.
Yes,
to do that, you got to control the line of scrimmage. You got to win the line of scrimmage, and they're incapable of doing that right now. Tennessee's got a powerful defensive line.
Shannon and Tate, they can. I've heard people say, well, Mount Washington is slow, but he can block. Go look at his rating on PFFF. I know Jones can run block. Take Dan Moore out the game. Put Washington and Jones in the game and make the effort to run the ball. If that's how we got to play, if we're going to play smash mouth, run the ball to get momentum going and then give KPA play action and all whatever else, okay, that's cool. But if you got him sitting on the bench, how do you expect to win? I mean, I don't think there's no Steeler fan out there in their right mind that believes that Dan Moore should be playing. I just, if they are, I'm looking at them like, are you serious?
No, I'd rather just go ahead and see Broderick Jones. I mean, and I think stop so much of the zone run plays, man. Let's just hat on hat, helmet on helmet, and just drive forward and go with Najee and Warren.
Yeah. Tate, I don't disagree. And guess what that does? That gives you an identity. And when you settle in on an identity, now that brings everybody together. So, but when you're okay, because you can't tell me this too. And like I said, I've been part of big time schools locker rooms. I done seen offensive where the running backs is mad at the O-line. The O-line is mad at the wide receivers. The tight ends is tripping with the running backs. And I done seen people dogpile on the quarterback before. Like, you can't never play again ever. You are trash.
Like after your senior year, my senior year, we had Londale.
Garbage. They dogpiled on him. Dogpiled on him fast.
Just came from the Final Four in the state your senior year.
Yep.
And we think Londale gonna come in and replace Mont at quarterback, and that didn't work. We had a losing season. Jokers was crying. Not some people we know, not me, but guys was that upset about it.
Yeah. But that's what they got to do against Tennessee to get the dub. Because we're talking about them playing against Tennessee. What do they need to do? A short week, get Washington, get Jones in the game, and pound the ball straight at them. Forget all that cute pass and trying to get Deontay in the game. You can hit George Pickens on the play action. That's fine. But we're going to run straight at you. I'm going to give my defense an opportunity to get some rest. if they got 2, 3, 4, 5 4-and-outs, man, it's the same old thing. Tate, we got a super chat over there, dog. Last Kings of Scotland. We salute you. Can I kill Englishmen? Without a doubt. Thank you, man, for the $1.99. Last Kings of Scotland. How about McDaniels as the new OC next season? Come on, dog. Come on. Which McDaniels you talking about?
Josh, the one just got fired.
Nah, man. Come on, dog. Come on now. I don't want nobody in my locker room who even thinks the Patriot way. Not in my locker room.
He was a good OC, but no, I think you need somebody young, new, and innovative. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Facts.
I don't know who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Facts.
Tom Brady was the offensive coordinator.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the reason they were good on offense. Was Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and all the rest. Again, either coaches matter.
Thanks
Either
for the
coaches matter or they
super
don't.
chat. Thanks for the super chat, Last King of Scotland.
Mm-hmm. What you said, Shannon?
I said either coaches matter a whole lot or they don't matter at all. So we're gonna have to figure it out which.
Yeah, I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. So do you guys see anything else that we need to do from a game plan standpoint outside of what I'm saying? Just straight up running the ball at them? Or is there something that you think that we can do different?
They got to use the right personnel. They better
I
play
agree.
Broderick Jones and Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I love Connor Hayward, but he can't block.
Yeah. Say, boy, you got Bloods and Crips gang tackling. Yeah, with Big Boy. Yeah, with Big Boy. Yeah.
On defense, they have to gang tackle, man.
Yeah.
You can't, I'm sure Last King of Scotland know this other king is a load to deal with.
Yeah.
So
King Henry.
King Henry.
Yeah.
And the offense, Tennessee's offense, goes as he goes.
Yeah. But
if you don't have that play action for Will Levis, he don't hit them big throws he hit to DeAndre Hopkins last week. So KZ has to keep the lid on it. I don't know what they'll do. I don't see Keanu Neal or Miles Killebrew keeping the lid on it. I don't know who else they might put back there, like as a coverage safety. Maybe Pat P.
Yeah.
Maybe Riley. Need to get that guy some playing time.
Yeah.
You know what happened last week with Will Levis and D-Hop? You know what happened? I promise you this is what happened. D-Hop went to Will Levis and said, I don't care what the coaches is talking about. If you see me,
why you do all this speculating about coach player talk?
I've heard this on national television. Players have said this. He went to him and told him, I don't care what they talking about. If you see me one-on-one, throw it on out there. And I'm telling you, that's what happened. And it worked. Sound like something that if we're going to make KP8 the dude, KP8, if you see it one-on-one, the Pickens, throw it. I don't care what else you got going on. Throw it.
Well, he should, as the quarterback of your offense and your team, he should have that type of discretion and decision making. He should be able to do that.
I don't think
if that's what he sees. You don't have to just always run the play that was sent in if you see something different. And if it's anything, Tomlin and Canada need to trust him to do that. But sometimes I think Kenny ain't completely proved he can read defenses either, though, man.
Hey, we had a great comment over there from Shaka Steele about Will Levis, and that is absolutely 150% facts. Will Levis didn't have a wristband on play calling. Because guess what the game plan was? Hand the ball off to King Henry, or if you see D-Hop one-on-one, throw him the ball. He simplified it and made him successful.
So one key to the game from each of you and your score prediction. We got to get ready to get out of here.
Shannon, you got it.
Oh, I get to go first.
Absolutely.
All righty. The key to the game is who they start on the offensive line. If they could handle and block Tennessee's defensive line, which is their strength, Their secondary is not that good. I think they would be able to move the ball a little bit and on the ground and then hit some play action passes.
Mhm.
Do I think they'll do that? No.
Mm.
Until they prove me wrong, I don't know if I'll be able to pick them very often moving forward. But Tennessee's coming in hot, and the Steelers are definitely not. And I think that there's nobody to replace Fitzpatrick at all. He was really the guy they couldn't afford to lose, and now he's going to be gone. Hopefully, not too long. But I'm going to say Tennessee 27, Pittsburgh 17.
Ooh. All right. So I'm agreeing with the key to the game as far as being able to run the ball and pound the ball. You have to make decisions and changes on the offensive line. I still believe that 12 personnel package is the best package for the Steelers. And I believe the key of the game is going to be to force the ball into 12 personnel and force it to the tight ends and run the ball down the throat. Offensively. Defensively, JPJ, you got D-Hop. Everybody else make a play. Everybody else make a play. Send the house after Levis. He's a rookie quarterback on purpose. Send the house after him. That by sending the house, okay, that means we're going to also be trying to kill King Henry and make somebody else beat us. That's what I say. So I would say final score, Pittsburgh 21, Tennessee 17. Give me the Steelers by 4.
So, yeah, like I said, my key to the game is smashing the run. You got to stop Derrick Henry and establishing the run off the side of the ball. I mean, we need 115, 120 yards between Najee and Jaylen Warren.
Facts.
And if you establish that run game, it's definitely going to open up the pass. And Kenny has hit the passes. You know what I mean? Because if they run the ball, the pass is going to be there. I think this is a team the Steelers should be. I think they're, but I get ahead of myself too. I'm already counting on wins against Tennessee and Green Bay. And the next game, there's going to be a contest where I'm like, I'm on the fence. It's Cleveland. But I'm going to pick Pittsburgh to win. Tomorrow night, it's a primetime game at home. They don't lose too many of them.
Facts.
I'm going to go 24-17.
That ain't a bad score.
And hopefully they can. Cause I don't. Shannon said Tennessee. I don't see them Steelers give 27 to Tennessee. I don't see it. Not that they can't. I don't see it. Especially if the offense can establish anything.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I don't know what the over-under is. I think it was like 40, 41.
Yeah. Something like that. I think it's 40. Over-under is 40. But you're close. 40, 41. It's all the same.
Okay. Well, yeah, those are my thoughts. You guys got anything to close out with?
No. I just want, man, no matter what, man, I'm just going to be honest, man. I know we was critical about the Steelers tonight, but the main thing is, bro, I just want the dub, man. I just want the dub. I want the dub.
We was coming off sounding like DK Sports and Noah Strack buying them negative Steeler talking jokers.
Yeah, but they talk negative differently, man. They be all on the coach and this, that, and this. It's a conglomerate. So everybody's getting the business right now. Everybody's getting it.
Shannon, what you got going on, man?
Yeah, I also got to say that love the Steelers basically my whole life. I just want them to win. I want them to win the right way. I want to see them progressing, improving, living up to the standard, and that's not happened in a few years. So until proven otherwise, I'm disappointed, but it doesn't change how much I love the Steelers. That being said, this week, with the game being on Thursday, our schedule's off a little bit. I'll have a random observation article on Saturday. And then next Tuesday, it, of course, will be the stock report article again in its normal slot. And, of course, next Monday, we'll have the Steelers hangover again, me and Daniel J. So just appreciate everybody being here with us, talking talking through everything with us, being encouraged, being frustrated. It's all part of being part of the family, and that's what Steeler Nation is. So I do appreciate everybody.
Facts.
Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah.
And everybody, before we get out of here in the next 60 seconds or so, be sure to hit that like button. We appreciate everybody joining us. We appreciate all the super chats. And obviously, you'll watch the post game tomorrow after the game with Jeff, Dave, and Bad.
Yep.
But then Friday night on the homies, we'll have the next day, recap of the game and our thoughts, the homies' thoughts on the game. And we'll give Pay some grief about the Chicago Bears being super trash. And B Dirt will be back, and he gets to talk about a bingo win streak.
Yeah. Me and B Dirt having a meeting of the minds tomorrow here in OHIO. B Dirt coming to visit a player. We're gonna have a meeting of the minds tomorrow, man. We got to get through some things.
Yeah, I don't know about a meeting of the mind. Y'all gonna go eat together.
That's sometimes how you get it in. You got to have a meeting of the minds. The bellies and the minds got to be aligned.
But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Be sure to get all your Steelers news right here on the Steel Curtain Network. You got any other sports teams that you like? Search them out on the audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your audio podcast. Just put that FFSN in front of it and put the name of the team. And chances are you'll find some, because the Fans First Sports Network, we got a lot of different affiliates covering a lot of the teams and a lot of the sports. So be sure to check all that out. Like Big G was on Ohio State podcast, and Ohio State is number one in the nation.
Numero uno, dog. Numero uno. For now, we got a lot of football.
Hey, Shannon, is West Virginia ranked?
No,
Heck.
they could have been, and they blew it with giving up a Hail Mary the last play of the game to Houston. And then they lost. They ended up losing 2 in a row, but they won last week against UCF. So they played BYU Saturday.
And BYU just lost to who they just lose to?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like West Virginia. I root for them. I mean, I liked it better when it was in the Big East. Now they got to go travel all the way out to Big 12.
Yeah, I hate the Big 12, but
yeah,
at least they getting a quarterback. I like Green. He's a battler.
Yeah. See that on Steel Curtain Network? You get a little extra college football coverage. If you want to get all the college football coverage, tune in to Big G's podcast, the Level Up podcast.
Yeah, well, me and my boy Andy P on Mondays live on YouTube, and you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all the way across the board. We gets it in with that college football for sure.
LSU, Alabama, Big G, who wins?
Oh, give me. My heart tells me LSU, but Bama's gonna win. My heart tells me LSU, but Bama's gonna win. You mute.
And on that last note, y'all, we out.
Peace.
Peace.